You're watching NFL Daily by Chat Sports. I am Tom Downey answering your questions on the NFL as part of today's show. From Robert Bruce, our Patriots fan. Hello, Tom. Hey, everyone at Chat Sports. Yeah, I figured out the secret there, Robert. I like it. Wondering what do you think the Patriots do? Should they go after a linebacker for the aging defense or go after a receiver? I mean, I think the answer at some level is a bit of both. I think both of those needs are fairly large needs. New England does not have a number one receiver. That's been made pretty clear. Davante Hightower, though, is a big free agent for that team. He's a big, important part of what they like to do on defense. Of your not full-time edges, Juwan Bentley, Jamie Collins, and then Davante Hightower are all free agents. That's 3 of your top 4. You got Kyle Van Noy, that kind of hybrid edge linebacker role. I think the linebackers there, they got to focus, but I think you pick 2 of their biggest needs in the end. In terms of draft, maybe, I'd look receiver in round 1. From Zachary Lynn Morgan, I think Jordan Love stands a chance with the supporting cast he's set to have. If they draft a receiver in round 1 and or retain Davante Adams, they're starting to build the offense Matt LaFleur wants, which is a lot more of a run-focused offense. Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon. They've spent picks on fullback/tight ends. I am not overly confident in Jordan Love. He's got a tight time frame. A year, maybe 2 to show if he's the guy, if he takes over as Packers QB this year. Howard, Steelers must address other areas before drafting or trading for a QB. So there's 2 routes to go here in terms of how you address quarterback. If you can get your guy, go do it right now. If you think that's your franchise QB, do not wait. It makes life easier for the rest of your cast. Or you can fix everything or try to fix everything and then bring in a QB on the cheap. Mason Rudolph is not a good starting NFL QB. That is their biggest need. But if you want to wait on addressing that role, I'm okay with that. And just kind of hybrid tanking for a season while you wait to find the right guy at QB. From Grizzy, should the Titans draft a QB in round 1? Ryan Tannehill kind of feels like the Jared Goff, Jimmy Garoppolo QB. They're good, but are you going to be able to win with them? I'm not so sure. The issue I have as it relates to drafting one is who's going to be better. This is not in any order. Matt Corral from Ole Miss. Malik Willis has the upside from Liberty. Kenny Pickett's probably the best QB right now at a Pitt. Carson Strong's got the big arm, and Sam Howell's got some dual threat ability and pretty tough player on top of that. I don't love the QBs here for Tennessee. Frankly, I might trade for one if I were them. But as it relates to QBs, who is the best one in the 2022 NFL Draft? Pickett, Corral, Willis, Desmond was on my top 5. Let me know. This is the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. From DeGoat33, as producer Jack gets his Patriots on here early and often, cheater. Should the Patriots trade up for Garrett Wilson or Chris Olave? They're picking number 21. I would bet that one of those guys is on the board. Most likely Chris Olave at 21. It's a good receiver class, the 2 Ohio State kids. Jameson Williams, Drake London, Treylon Brooks, even Jahan Dotson. One, and more likely multiple of those guys will be there. So unless you think one of those guys is head and shoulders better than everybody else, stand pat. There'll be a receiver there for you. From Lakers All Day Dope, should the Dolphins trade Parker or X? I don't want to trade Xavier Howard. He's still really good. He's important for you. Maybe he wants out this year. We'll see. I think DeVante Parker probably makes the most sense, though his trade value is lower. Miami's in a weird spot. I don't think they blow it all up because they still have Tua on the cheap. So I think of the 2, Parker, but teams will have more interest in Xavier Howard in the end. We are not that far away from 278,000 subscribers here on Chat Sports. So if you want free videos every day on the NFL, the NBA, and more, hit that big red button and subscribe. From Nathan Floyd, can Atlanta trade Calvin Ridley straight up for Laremy Tunsil with Houston? Oh, interesting. Can they? Yes. Would Houston do that? I don't think so. I think Houston would want a little bit more. I like the outside-the-box, player-for-player head coach idea, or head coach trade idea, but I think Houston and Tunsil have a little bit more of the value on that end. From Roy Williams, safe, that's why I said coach earlier. Can the Cowboys get Sean Payton next year? Can they? Yeah, I think, look, a trade will be required. Might be more of the Bruce Arians style, since Payton would not be coaching in the NFL at that point. I think they can. And the rumors, so they will be heavy with Sean Payton and the Cowboys. Every loss, hire Sean Payton. Guaranteed. From Taylor Holland, who will cost more? It's a super chat, by the way. Thank you, Taylor. Who will cost more, Rodgers or Wilson? I think Rodgers. But I don't think they're that far apart. Rodgers probably has a shorter shelf life, but he's playing better right now. So I would go Rodgers, but I don't think it's that far apart. If you want to bet on the NFL Draft, do it with BetUS. 125% deposit bonus at chatsports.com/bet when you use promo code NFL Daily. The number one overall pick odds are as follows. Aiden Hutchinson, plus 150. Kayvon Thibodeau, plus 160. Evan Neal, plus 200. Ika Ekwonu skyrocketed to plus 400 after Dane Brugger put him at number one. Jags need OT more than they need edge help, but the better players are Hutch and Thibodeau. And then QB Kenny Pickett, way down there, plus 2,500. Bet on the NFL with BetUS. Promo code NFL Daily gets you a 125% deposit bonus at chatsports.com/bet. Sterling Alba, with the Eagles having 10 picks in the first round and $27 million, could the Eagles be a surprise team? I think they could be, especially if they get crazy at QB. Eagles were better than they should have been. Maybe not as good as their record might indicate projecting ahead to next year. They're going to be, I think, aggressive to some level. I would bet they trade one of those first-round picks for a future first-rounder next year. From a man on the moon, do the Giants have to go O-line with their 2 first-rounders? I don't think they have to. Like, you could sign a bunch of guys in free agency and not have to be a need. As things sit right now with their roster and needs, they do have to go at least one offensive lineman. Some looking at Evan Neal, Ika Ekwonu, Charles Cross as like your main offensive tackle guys. I think Neal and Ekwonu would be great at right tackle. Maybe you go center, Tyler Linderbaum. I don't love the guards this year. I think Neal and Ekwonu could both play guard if you had to. Kenyon Green, probably more of a top 25 guy than a top 5 guy. It makes it dicey in the end for New York, but I think if you don't get one of those guys in round 1, I think you did something wrong. So how many rounds of the NFL Draft will you watch? I do all 7 live here at Chat Sports. I've always done all 7 for as long as I can remember. I want you to be honest. No wrong answers. Just let me know how many rounds of the draft you guys watch. From Pierce Bailey. If you are the Dolphins GM, do you build around Tua this draft, or do you try to shop him for picks or another QB? I'm not interested in adding a different QB in this draft, and I don't value the QBs that highly. Now, if you could promise me a Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers, I mean, how can I say no? Like, those guys are franchise QBs in the short term. If Watson's clear, throw him in there too, but off-field stuff's a concern there. So, beyond that, I would build around Tua in this year's draft. I would owe it to myself as a team to, look at other QBs, but filling a big name, I'm just going to build around Tua because I'm not out on Tua as a QB. From Kurt Morrow, or Morrow, however you pronounce it, will Dabo bring Mitchell Trubisky to replace Daniel Jones? Is Marsh out there? He's not paying attention. Mitch Trubisky to replace Daniel Jones. He should be paying attention there. Maybe he'll give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I could see Trubisky coming in as a backup QB, like just for the time being, since he has some familiarity with the offense. But is that really replacing Daniel Jones, or is that just kind of more of the same non-franchise QB? From Burrow Fan 25, can the Ravens trade up for Kyle Hamilton? Weird combo there. It'd be fun. You might lose Deshaun Elliott, and Kyle Hamilton is my favorite prospect in this year's class. Low numbers because he missed time this year. Built like Derwin James, and the dude runs like Earl Thomas. It's a pretty unique blend right there. If the Ravens would get him, I say yes. I don't think, though, a team is going to sacrifice the capital to jump in the top 5 or top 7 to acquire a safety. That's just not how NFL teams like to operate. Tricky question here. I want you guys to try. Predict a draft day trade for me. It could be picks or for a player. Let me know in the comments what wild draft day trade you guys can cook up. From Pierce Bailey, top NFL QBs under the age of 27. Okay, so I got to think who's actually under the age of 27. So Joe Burrow's in there. I don't think Kyler Murray is in there. Lamar's in there. Herbert's in there. Is Mahomes under 27? I'm pretty sure he is. So if that's the case, I think I just named the top guys under the age of 27. Let me double check Mahomes' age. He's 26. So then, yeah, Mahomes, Burrow, Herbert, Kyler, and I think Lamar. Oh wait, Josh Allen is under 27 too, right? Let me double check that. I'm not Rain Man with ages. He's 25. So then, yeah. So no order: Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray, Justin Herbert. Final answer, except for the guy that I somehow forgot. Shanav, 3 firsts, a second, Jerry Jeudy, Ronald Darby, Lloyd Cushenberry for Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. I don't think it's that far off. Now, the Adams franchise tag and trade makes things really complicated, but you're giving up 3 starters in Darby, Cushenberry, and Jeudy, 3 first-round picks, and a second. That's a pretty good haul for as good as Rodgers and Adams are. Maybe making it 2 players adds like another pick somewhere along the line in there, or 2 picks in there, but I think your base package is actually pretty damn good. From Jay Jameson, who will draft my guy, David Ojabo? Ooh, good question. I like him a lot. He is raw as a run stopper, but he's actually super developed as a pass rusher. Also, he is, by the way, it's not a typo, he is from Scotland, by the way, as weird as that might sound. At least he grew up there, I should say. I think that early mid part of round 1. I think the Falcons kind of open his window, number 8. Minnesota, depending on what happens with Daniil Hunter. The Browns, they don't retain Jadeveon Clowney. The Ravens, with his defensive coordinator now back in Baltimore, makes perfect sense. And the Eagles, 3 picks in the top 20, 15, 16, 19. All 5 of those teams, I think, make a lot of sense as potential David Ojabo fits. Who is your favorite NFL draft prospect this year? No wrong answers. It's whatever one you guys like the most, so let me know in the comments.